Look, I know you're here for a comedy show, but I have some knowledge and I think you deserve to know the truth, okay? And what I'm talking about is the truth about coronavirus. Do you want to know the truth? Can you handle the truth? Okay, here it is. I've been doing hours of research on highly credible websites. I've been wanting to know the answer to the question of who did this to us? Who do we blame? So I was on Facebook. And I saw somebody post and they said, we need to follow the money. Whoever is benefiting from this the most, that's who we blame, that's who did it. So I did multiple Google searches. And there's lots of companies that are doing okay, but there's only one company that's benefiting by 200%. Do you know who this is? Who's up by 200% in their sales? Amazon, I hear that. I hear mass companies. Yeah. That's just what these people want you to think. Those are all up, but the only company that's up 200% are puzzle companies, okay? Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, I knew Big Puzzle was behind this. Puzzle companies were sitting there being like, how do we get people to do our super boring activity by taking away every other activity? Yeah, got some people on board, yes. And it's okay if you're not on board. I'm gonna tell you to go home, do the research, because the pieces fit, okay? Thank you. I got Lasik eye surgery right before the pandemic. Anybody done Lasik in here? Yeah, there we go. Doesn't it feel cool to pay to be better? No effort, just money. It's awesome. And I was very excited for Lasik, but I was kind of stressed out when it first happened because I was doing some research and I read that when people lose one of their senses, like if they go blind, their other senses will get better. Like their sense of hearing will get better, sense of smell will get better. But I was worried because I was just doing the opposite. I was improving one of my senses. So I thought maybe my other senses were about to check out. And I'd be walking around like, what? I can't hear you. I just got LASIK. I can see you're talking very clearly. And your teeth are way worse than I remember. Or people are like, Jordan, how's your LASIK? I'm like, it's great. I can see. I mean, everything tastes like a McRib now. But otherwise, things are good. Leading up to the pandemic, billboards for LASIK had very misleading slogans. They thought they were very clever, but they all said 2020 is the year to see the world in 2020. Yeah, I'm calling false advertising on that one. It'd be more accurate if it was like 2020 is the year to see how many trips you can cancel in 2020. Or the year to see the inside of your apartment in 2020. I don't know. I also grew out my hair during the pandemic. Why get a haircut? It wasn't growing out my hair. And I know, I'm a balding guy that's growing out my hair. It's not great. I did it just to see if it still grew, and it does. Just not everywhere. One of my friends looked at me and was like, how is it that you look like you have too much hair, but also not enough hair? My wife even tries to be supportive, but even her compliments about my hair hurt my feelings. Like, she stopped me, she wanted this to make me feel good. She said, Jordan, your hairs are looking great today. Hair is a weird word where the plural form means less of for some reason. Thank you. Not many words in the English dictionary do that one. I think money is another one. If somebody's like, I have money, it's like, oh, you're wealthy. But if somebody's like, I got monies, they have $1.25, and that's it. So I've been a redhead my entire life. Thank you for your support. I've been a redhead for 31 years, and I'm realizing now I don't think people care for us very much. I'm just realizing I don't think people like redheads very much. Does anybody in here like redheads? Okay, it felt a little sarcastic, but I guess I'll take it. Even if you think you like redheads, this is how you talk about redheads. Like, ooh, I love Conan O'Brien. He's so long and weird with weird hair. Or like, ooh, I love Ed Sheeran. I love how his tattoos pop out on his super white skin. You talk about us like we're circus freaks, okay? And if you still think you like us, then let's stop this behavior right now. I grew up every day of my life hearing this multiple times. When people would see I'm a redhead, they'd be like, oh, you're a ginger. You don't have a soul. Have you heard this? Redheads deal with this all the time. It's a weird one. It's weird to say, we're all gonna go and live on after we die, but not you. It's dark. You're not on board, but it's not cool, okay? But I get it, kind of. I get it. We're not fun. We're not fun. If a redhead invites you to hang out, there's an 80% chance it's gonna be in a basement somewhere, okay? Going outside is a calculated risk for us. You want me to go on a hike? A hike? How much shade is there? Some's not enough. It's risky for us. It's deadly out there. It's not fun. So it's okay. Here's the thing. Redhead's favorite day is winter solstice. Because it's the day that's the least amount of day. We call it Ginger Christmas. We're excited about it. We go outside a lot that day. I was at the grocery store and I was talking to the cashier, and usually when you talk to a cashier, it's small talk, like how's the day, how's the weather? And he looked at me and said, oh, you're a redhead. And I said, yes. He said, I heard you're going extinct. He said it like it was good news. I was like, yeah, dude, we're getting out of here. And we high-fived. No, I was stressed out. I looked it up, and it's true. Some scientists are predicting redheads have 100 years left. So you better enjoy this while it lasts, is what I'm saying. Apparently, we're just gonna get wider and wider until we fade from existence. No, the real truth is that we don't want to mate with each other, and you can't really blame us, but we're just gonna exit. The only people that really like redheads, and I think this is true, the only people that really like redheads are the elderly. And I don't know why it is. Whenever I'm around old people, they're just like, ooh, I want to touch it. I'm like, you really can't right now. You could die. No touching. And I was always like, why? Why do old people love red hair so much? And I came up with two reasons. I think either one of these is it. One reason is that appreciating red hair is such an acquired taste. It takes literally 80 years of life before you start to like it. Or the other reason is that old people, they're closer to death, right? They're closer to their souls leaving their bodies. So they see redheads as kind of like a soulless husk that they can then transfer their soul into, like a hermit crab changing its shell. So joke's on you guys. My name's Jordan, I'm a ginger, I do have a soul, her name is Gertrude. And she was a nurse in the Vietnam War. And we're very happy together, okay? I will say the good thing about being a balding redhead, which I know is not a popular way to start a sentence, but the good thing about being a balding redhead is that when I do get sunburnt on my scalp, it makes it look like I have a little bit more hair. Yeah, it just kind of fills in the gaps. I went outside for 15 minutes, came inside, looked in the mirror, and was like, whoa, who's this ginger Fabio I'm looking at right now? Doing that head movement. Thank you. When I do that, hair just falls off my head, though. It can't handle the friction. You guys, I was driving, and I saw something that changed my life a little bit. I was driving, and I looked to the side, and what I saw was a U-Haul being towed by a tow truck. And when you first see that, I was like, you kind of had one job, U-Haul. But then I started feeling emotional. I was overcome with emotion. I was tearing up. I'm like, what is this image getting to me so much? And I realized, I pictured this U-Haul just driving along, and this tow truck came up beside it and looked at it and said, You've carried everyone's burdens long enough. Let me carry you, U-Haul. Me haul you. And I think that night that U-Haul had a dream. Yes, I do. It gets weird, so please stay with me. That U-Haul had a dream that it was driving on the freeway of life with his friend, the tow truck. And in this dream on the freeway of life, this U-Haul could see scenes from its little U-Haul life off every exit. All the way from it was a baby 8-foot U-Haul, all the way to a grown 20-foot U-Haul. And next to each of these scenes were 2 sets of tire tracks. One for the U-Haul and one for the tow truck. But this U-Haul noticed something, brothers and sisters. This U-Haul noticed something. This U-Haul noticed something that hurt this little U-Haul's heart. This U-Haul noticed next to the scenes in its life that were the hardest, the breakdowns, the bumps in the road. Next to those scenes, there's only one set of tire tracks. We felt that before, haven't we? U-Haul cried out. U-Haul said, "Tow truck! How could you leave me in the times I needed you the most?" But don't worry. Tow truck had an answer. Tow truck said, "No, U-Haul, silly U-Haul. Those times where you see only one set of tire tracks, those are not the times I left you, no. Those are the times that I towed you." Thank you. It is powerful. And tow truck said, "You still owe me $375 for that. I don't know who you think I am. I'm not doing this for free." Okay, that's a fun joke for me to do because I know if you haven't heard the Footprints in the Sands poem, yeah, you're lost. And not only are you lost, but you're looking around at the people laughing and you're angry at the people laughing. Like, why are you supporting this nonsense? It makes no sense. And really, it's just another example of the wicked persecuting the righteous. I did that joke in Detroit, Michigan. Silence the entire time. Even after I explained it, silence. And it makes sense because God left that city a long time ago. So for those of you still confused, let me explain it to you. So the original poem is about a person walking. It's actually very beautiful. It's a person walking with Jesus on a beach, and on the horizon they can see scenes from their life, but they notice in the hard times one of the footprints goes away. And so the person cries out and says, "Why would you leave me?" And they actually just updated it this year. So let me read the end to you. The end now, Jesus responds and he says, "Blessed child, I'd never leave you. Not tomorrow, not today. When you looked down and saw only one set of footprints, mine were 6 feet away." Thank you. That's the kind of laughter where you're like, that was so dumb, I have to laugh. I grew up in a religious household. I know people in this town don't relate, but I grew up very religious. My family were so religious we didn't swear. We were the type of family that, like, if we were listening to music and there was a dirty word coming up, we would sing over it with a cleaner but dumber word. And it got very pervasive. It got to the point where we would change the names of things all the time. We started changing the titles of movies if we thought it was too much. So I remember when the original Hellboy came out. I was in junior high. I really wanted to go rent it from Blockbuster, rest in peace. But I needed a ride, so I went to my older brother, Jeremiah. Oh, is that funny? I have a brother named Zachariah also. And my parents were really debating between Jordan or Habakkuk for me. And Habakkuk's an Old Testament prophet, but you knew. You know, right after Nahab, right before Zephaniah, prime real estate. So I went to Jeremiah. I said, hey, Jeremiah, can we go to Blockbuster and rent Hellboy? And he was so disappointed. He looked right at me and said, oh, Jordan, I think you mean Heckboy. And I said, brother, forgive me, for I have sinned. And let me tell you more about Jeremiah here for a little bit. So Jeremiah and I grew up loving Saturday morning cartoons, superhero cartoons, and this was right when the first superhero movies were coming out. Hellboy came out, the first X-Men movie came out, and we loved X-Men. It was our favorite. But if you remember the original X-Men, there's this character named Mystique, and she is all blue and she can shapeshift into other people. But in the movie, they decided she wouldn't wear clothes. She would just have blue makeup all over her body, which was obviously too provocative for Jeremiah. But he really wanted to go see it. He wanted to take me to see it, but he wanted to feel comfortable taking me to see it. So he devised a plan where he would feel comfortable. So what he did before the movie is he took 2 pieces of paper, and with each of them, he cut out 2 tiny dresses, one for me and one for him. So while we're in the theater with strangers, whenever Mystique came on screen, we could just cover her naked body. And you guys, that's the kind of righteousness that borders on serial killer behavior. That is too far. If you ever meet a guy in a dark alley that's like, hello, my name is Jeremiah. I am clean cut and I do not swear. And at all times I have 2 tiny dresses in my pocket. He'll kill you, get away from him. So I was at Blockbuster with Jeremiah to rent Heckboy. And it was the first weekend it was out. We went and it was all sold out. There weren't any copies left. And I said, oh no. And my brother said, I shall ask. And I said, please do not ask. But he was determined. He went straight to the cashier. He said, excuse me, sir. Do you perchance have any more copies of Heckboy in stock? You ever been with your family and you're just like, I wish I was anything but related to you right now? But the cashier said something amazing, something I still think about. The cashier looked right at him and said, oh, sorry, we're all out of Heckboy, but we did just get in the special edition of the Goshfather trilogy. You guys, to this day, I don't know if that cashier was making fun of us or if he was one of us. I don't know. This next story is going to sound untrue, but I promise it's very true. I was overcharged at a burger place by $100,000. And don't worry, I noticed it when I saw it on my credit card statement. And here's the thing, I know what I look like. I know I look like a guy that enjoys a burger. I just didn't know it was so much that this could happen and my credit card company wouldn't even send me an alert. My credit card company saw a $100,000 charge for burgers come in. They're like, whoa, what is this? Who is it for? And they said, Jordan Makin. They're like, oh, well, for Jordan. That sounds about right, actually. That computes. I know what some of you are thinking. I know you're like, wow, well, that's bad that happened, but that's cool that it even went through. You have a $100,000 credit limit on your credit card? No, I don't. It's kind of short. It's about $99,000 short. Which means they saw it, knew it was way over my limit, still let it go through. I can only think is that they thought they were doing me a solid or something. Like, oh, Jordan really wants some burgers right now. Can we bend the rules just this once? It was bad. I had to go into the place. Oh, the place was called Chubby's, by the way. Chubby's, okay? Which when you look at your credit card statement and you see a $100,000 charge to a place called Chubby's, it causes some self-reflection, okay? So I went in there, I showed them, and they did refund me the money. They gave me a $10 coupon, so worth it in the end. But I posted this transaction on my social media. So if you don't believe me, go to my social media, it's there. But my friends were getting kind of mad. They were like, you should sue them. They tried to steal your money. You should sue them. Get back at them. And I had to be like, I don't think this was a master plan. This doesn't feel like an Ocean's 11 type movie to me. I don't think Mr. Chubby woke up in the middle of the night. He's like, Karen, wake up. I have a plan to pay off the rest of our mortgage. And she's like, what is it, Mr. Chubby? Weird relationship. I don't know why she calls him that. What is it? And he said, here's the plan. A man will walk into the burger shop, and then we will overcharge him $100,000. And Karen was probably like, I don't think that would work. I think the credit card company would send an alert. I think the person would notice. He's like, no, shut up. He's a very cruel man. No, shut up, Karen. Here's the most important part of the plan. We choose someone that it seems about right for. Yeah, I'm sure he was just waiting day after day for the right person to walk in. Then I finally walked in and it just looked like a scene from Moby Dick. And he was Captain Ahab. And he's like, there's my great white whale, boys. It's not good. So I was trying not to look like that anymore. My wife and I have been trying different dieting things. We did Nutrisystem. Anybody done Nutrisystem in here? All right, I'm still gonna do the joke, but it's one where they send you meals. Well, they call them meals. They're each about the size of a silver dollar. I remember the first day I was like, Adrian, if I put all my meals today on one plate, I would still need an entree for it to be a normal meal for me. But here's the sad part, is that it worked. 1 week into Nutrisystem, I lost 10 pounds. Thank you. It's not really that exciting because it means I have to keep doing it. But 10 pounds in 1 week, it was really amazing to know exactly how much the joy inside me used to weigh. Like 3 days into it, I was at my job, and one of my coworkers was like, there's leftover pizza in the break room, do you want any? And a tear fell down from my eye. And I lost 7 pounds in that moment. They don't tell you the joy weight falls right off. I've also been doing the Fitbit thing for a while. The Fitbit thing, you guys have fitness trackers, how many steps you get. I never get my limit though, I'm never even close. Does anybody in here actually get their step limit for the day? You do over here? What is your step limit?
30,000.
And you get it? Ooh, what a hero. Okay, actually you are a hero for being a teacher, but I was saying about the steps thing, now I feel like a jerk, but. So I think mine's 10,000, but I never get it. I'm never close. It might as well be 100,000. And I think my first problem that you may have noticed is that I call it a limit and not a goal. But my wife made me do a 5K, and I did it. I survived it, the shortest of the races. And so what happened, I got 10,000 steps like before 10 a.m., before I'm usually awake. And my Fitbit was freaking out. My Fitbit was doing things that I didn't even know it did. It was vibrating. I'm like, I didn't know you did this. It was blinking at me. I'm like, this is so cool. And then I read it, and it said, theft reported. Who has this Fitbit? We know you're not Jordan. Please return this before the authorities get involved. You can run, but you can't hide. And Jordan does neither of those things. So I don't want to brag, but I'm kind of known for my Fitbit jokes. If you Google Fitbit comedy, this guy's face comes up. I recorded a bunch of them on this very stage. I did some great jokes about how my Fitbit always thinks I'm sleeping when I'm actually just watching TV, how my Fitbit won't believe it when I die, how clapping is easier to get your step count than walking. And I recorded a bunch of these, and they got put on Facebook, and they got like 1 million views. Not a big deal, just what happened. And I guess some important people saw these jokes, because a few weeks later, I got an email from Fitbit. Like, not a promotional email. Fitbit headquarters was emailing me. And this is really what the email said. It said, Dear Jordan, we hear your Fitbit is malfunctioning. and we'd love to send you a new one. And I thought somebody was pranking me, so I wrote back, oh, my Fitbit works fine, I've just broken its spirits. But they were like, no, Jordan, we're for real. You gave us 36 brand mentions in that joke. This is the least we can do. Choose whatever Fitbit you'd like. We'll send it to you for free. So I chose the second most expensive because I'm not a jerk. And they sent me this nice touchscreen Fitbit that I've never bought before in real life. But what I'm getting at is since they sent this to me, does this mean I'm sponsored by Fitbit now? Does it? I think whether Fitbit likes it or not, this is the face of Fitbit. The $100,000 burger man for you. And my first act as now president of Fitbit, it's telling you steps don't matter anymore, okay? We're gonna get our limits by clapping. That's how we'll do it. Thank you, Dry Bar. Thank you.
Hey there, Dry Bar comedy fan. Thank you for watching my special. Now is the time you can show your appreciation by leaving a tip. And I want to let you in on a little disturbing news. Did you know that redhead comedians are tipped 85% less than other comedians on the Dry Bar platform? It's sad but true. You can be the change that we see in this world. Please leave me a tip and make a difference.